Okay, so we begin with the question of December 2011. Question of December 2011. Question of December 2011, which is question number 1. Now the question says that XYZ Limited intends to introduce product Z in its product portfolio. The following information relates to projected estimates of demand and cost for the proposed product under 2 possible selling prices. Sales volume, thousands in units. We have the demand forecast, the probability, the selling price of 150 and 200. Then we have the fixed costs. Then we are told each unit requires 3 kilos of materials, and because of storage problems, any unused material must be sold at shillings 10 per kilogram. The sole supplier of the material offers 3 purchase options as follows. Option A, you purchase any quantity at that bob per kilogram. Option B, you purchase the minimum quantity of 50,000 kilograms at 27.5 per kilogram. Option C, you purchase the minimum quantity of 70,000 kilograms at shillings 25 per kilogram. You are required to advise the company on which selling price and the purchasing option to adopt. Now, Janet, welcome. Now, the first thing that you can be able to see is that this question is a multi-stage question. And it's called multi-stage because you can see we have 2 sets of probabilities. Although these probabilities here, they appear on one column, they relate to the price of 150. They also relate to the price of 200. And in the question, there appears to be an error. So what we are going to do is we are going to adjust. We are going to adjust the one for most likely. We are going to adjust the one for most likely. Instead of 0.3, let's make it 0.5. 0.3, let's make it 0.5. Okay, so now what is happening here? We have 2 options that must be decided or must be chosen. One is the price, and number 2, the option of the purchase. The option of the purchase. So we can start by noting that this is a multi-stage decision. Multi-stage decision is a multi-stage decision. And if it's a multi-stage decision, we always begin by coming up with a sketch. We always begin by coming up with a sketch of the tree. We always begin by coming up with a sketch of the tree, how it will look like. So I want to go to this side and come up with a sketch. Come up with a sketch. The sketch here, the sketch of the tree will be like this. We are deciding on 2 prices. We We are deciding on two prices. The price of 150 and the price of what? 200. And then we also decide on the options of parties. And there are three options. There is the option A, B, and C. Option A, B, and C. And then for each of the options, there are three demand levels. There are three demand levels. There are three demand levels. So if there are those three demand levels, it tells you that we are going to have a tree that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you take 6 times 3, that gives us 18. So we are going to have a tree that has 18 tails. We are going to have a tree that has 18 tails. So if we are going to have a tree that has 18 tails, now what we do, we now do the fair copy. We now do the fair copy of the decision tree. So you can estimate up to where the tree will get on your page. So mine, I want to bring it up to here. So if I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then here, this should be the end of the diagram. Here we have the payoff. We shall have the payoffs there. And then my tree. So what you do, because some of you did not do QA, so you are not very familiar with this. You go to the end of your page. Go to the end of your page. You need a new page. You need a new page so that you are able to space them well. Now at the end, I pick at the word payoff, column for the payoff. Column for the payoff. Column for the payoffs. Then you can draw these circles, 18 of them. Maybe each on its own line. At the end of the line, not at the center of the line. You see, if your book is like this, good like this, you don't put it here. It is preferred you put it here, so that the line that you shall draw will follow the same line of the book. Okay? Yeah. Now, what we are doing, we want to draw a diagram. Look here, a diagram that has three sections. There is this one, and this one. It is, as you can see, these ones are very many. So we want to arrange them to be on this side. So what we do, where we have many of them, where we have many of them, we make it a bit longer so that it will not be so much congested. But these ones, they can be shorter. So by all that, I'm simply saying this space, we are going to divide it into 3, but not necessarily equal sizes. Just a minute. So the first one is giving us 6%. The first one the net profit or earnings then you divide by the first one is meant to be the or shareholders. Then you add that's now the wrong one. Now of the interest cover expression equal to the interest what the so to compute the interest cover expression for us, so interest cover expression so if you check in the notes, under the ratio, when you check in the answers under the coverage, under the ratio, under the ratio, I give some notes on that. That is meant to be on page 4 or on page 4. There is that. So if you have understood that, let us now start drawing lines. So this one is labeled number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. Number 4. So this is now the decision tree. Okay. Then make sure you can see the difference. You see now these lines are incomplete, and these ones are complete. So there's a difference. The other difference that you should notice is this one. This is number 7 here. Now here we use a square. You see the others were circles. Yes. It's like a square that way. So that is how the tree looks like. Janet, have you finished drawing? Okay, good. So we now want to compute these earnings, rather these payoffs. So down there now, tandika computation of payoffs. Computation of payoffs down there. Computation of payoffs. Computation of payoffs. Computation of payoffs. Computation of payoffs. Now, in this computation of payoffs, we are going to have the price here. We are going to have the price. Then, or maybe before we compute that, maybe we need to fill the items in the tree so that you can be able to follow clearly. Let's go back to the tree. Let's go back to the tree so that you see how they flow. Now, we said here, we have two prices. We have the price of 150, so put 150 here. And we have the price of 200, put it here. Then we have three purchase options. There is option A, option B, option C. Option A, option B, and option C. Then we have the units. Now these units, I want us to have them in thousands. So when we are in the price of 150, the units are 36, 28, and 18. 36, 28, and 18. 36, 28, and 18. That is when you are in the price of 150. When you come to the price of 200, the units are 28, 23, 13, 28, 23, 13, 28, 23, 13. Something else that we need to record are the probabilities. So the probabilities, we have 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. Then you can see those fixed costs. The fixed cost, we normally record them here. So for the price of 150, the fixed cost is 650. And you put it in brackets. Remember, we are working with figures being in thousands. For the 200, it is 1360. And you put it in brackets that way. So with that now, we can be able to see how these things will flow. So with the price there, now here we have units. We have units. We have units now. Then here I will have materials in kilograms, materials in kilos. First of all, I have the required. I have purchased, and then I have excess, and then I have, I think there is a statement that talks of excess. Yeah, there is excess. So materials in kilos, I have the required, the purchased, and the excess. Then I have revenue. I have revenue here. Revenue from products and materials. And materials. That will be the revenue. We have two sources of revenue. We have the one that is coming from the product. We have the one that is coming from then at the end here, I will have the payoff. Mwisho kabisa. I'm doing this because my space congested now, so that niwatie hii nigawanishe costs. Costs. Now costs, it has several columns. Kwanza kuna variable costs. Na kuna purchase. So they are just two. So kuna variable na kuna purchase. Yeah, so they are just two. The fixed cost is already catered for here. So for purposes of following our formula, well, I want us to label some of these items. And in the labeling, you can use any letter, but it's advisable if a letter has already been used in the tree, you don't use it again, so that they don't confuse. So in the tree, we already have used A, B, C. So we can start now from B. Or even you can use, so this one, let me call it E. This one, I call it E. Now, if you look at information number 1, it says that each unit requires 3 kilos of materials. Each unit requires 3 kilos. So that will be given as 3E. And you call it F. 3E, you call it F. Then purchased, let's call it G. Let's call it G. The excess will be given as G minus F, which I want us to call it H. G minus F, you call it H. Now the product will be DE. The revenue from the product will be D times E. And you can call it K. You can call it K. D times E. You call it K. Then for the material, we are told each kilo in excess will be sold 10 shillings. So it is going to be 10H. 10H, you can call it M. 10H, you can call it M. For the variable costs, you can see for each unit, it is that bulk. So it is going to be 30E. That E, you can call it N. You can call it N. Then for the purchase cost, it will be the units that are purchased. That will be G times cost. You can call it R. G times cost. You can call it R. Now, when it goes to the payoff will be arrived at easy. It will be K plus M minus N minus R. So let us start now the workings. When the price is 150, the first demand can be 36. So you say 36, then there is a column we forgot, but because we have drawn here, what we shall do, because we forgot that column, we shall put 150A, put subscripts that way, so that to do it, we are dealing with the 150 at option what? A. 150A. I should have created another column here for the option, but it's not a big deal. So now we come here, the required. So you take that 6 times 3. You get what? 108. You get 108. If you look at your question where we have option A, they are saying that you buy any quantity that you want. That's all. So that means because we want 108, we shall just be able to buy 108. And therefore, there will be no excess. There will be no excess. So the revenue that we shall get is now 150 times 36. 150 times 36 is 5,400. The revenue from material is 0. The variable cost will be 30 times 36, 1080. The purchase, if you look at the question again, when we are in option A, they are selling to us a kilo at how much? 30. So it is going to be this G, the 108 times 30. That is 240. So let's compute that to get the revenue, the payoff. It will be 5,400 plus 0 minus 1080 minus that 240 is 1080. So that is the answer that we shall bring here. 1080. If you go to your tree diagram, That is the payoff now for the first one. Let's compute the next one. The next one is when the units are 28. So 28 times 3 is 84. And because you are still on option A, we just buy the 84. And therefore there is no excess. There is no excess. And the revenue will then be 28 times 150. That is 4,200. And the material is 0. The variable cost will be 30 times E. E is 28. That is 840. The purchase is 84 times that, because we are still under A, see there? Times that. So that is 25, 20. So let's get the payoff. The same is 4200 plus 0 minus 840 minus the answer I had gotten, and I'm getting 840. Answer here, narudi tunaiweka hapa. Is the second one, 840. Let's get the next one at 18. Now at 18, you will say 18 times 3. That is 54. And because we are in option A, we just buy the 54. And the excess is 0. The excess is 0. Then we go to the revenue. The revenue will be 18 times 150 is 2,700. Material is 0. Variable cost is 30 times 18, 540. The purchase is 54 times 30, 1620. So the payoff will be 2,700 minus 540 minus, so we get 540. So that is brought here. Now we got to the price of 150, but now when we are in option B. So the demand is still 36 here. And going by our multiplication, this is 108. And when we are in option B, if you look at the words of the question, option B says you buy a minimum of what? 50,000. That means if you need anything less than 50, you must buy 50. If you need anything more than 50, then you are okay to buy that more than 50. So 108 is more than 50, and therefore we shall be able to buy 108. And when we buy exactly that, there is no excess. So the revenue still remains 5,400. And there is no revenue that is coming from materials. But when you are in option B, 1 kilo they are selling to us at how much? 27.5. So you take 27.5, multiply by the units you have purchased, 108. That gives us 29.70. Oh, sorry, that is the purchase. 29.70. The purchase, your 29.70. So I need the variable cost. The variable is still 30 times what? Times 108. So that still gives me 1080. So now I will say 5400 minus 1080 minus the answer I've gotten. That gives me 1350. 1350. So nakimbia naandika hapa 1350. Then we got to 28. 28 is 84. Then the purchase is still 84 because we are more than 50. So the excess is 0. The revenue is 4,200. No revenue from material. The variable cost is still 840. So what we change now is the purchase, where we will say 84 times 27.5. You getting 2310? Yeah, so 2310. So now we say for 200 minus 840 minus 2310 is 1050. So you come and record it here, 1050. So we got the next one at 18. 18 is 54. 54 here, 0 because we are above 50. Then the revenue is still 2700. There is 0 here. The variable cost is 540. But now the purchase will change to 54 times 27.5. 1485. 1485. So 2700 minus 540 minus the answer is 675. 675. So we are through with 150B. Let's go to 150C. Oh, here we put it hapa 675. Let's go to 150C now. 150C. So 150C, the units are still 36. So this is 108. But now, when you look at the instructions in option C, we are told that you just buy what? You buy a minimum of 70. Now this one is more than 70. So we are going to have 108 being purchased. So there is no excess. And the revenue is still 5,400. And the material is 0. The variable cost is 1080. And then the purchase cost now is 108 times 25. They're selling to other 25. So times 25, that gives us 2,700. So 5,400 minus 1080 minus 2,700 is 1620. 1620. Then 28, we have 84. We'll still buy 84 because it's more than 70. Yeah? Then there is no excess here. And the revenue is 4,200. Materials are 0 here. The variable is 840. But now the purchase is 84 times 25. That is 2,100. So now take 4,200 minus 840 minus the answer, you get 1,260. Get 1,260. So we got 18. 18 is 54, but now 54 is below 70. So you must buy 70. So if you bought 70, that means you have an excess of 16. An excess of 16. The next is revenue. Revenue is still 2,700 here. And now here we have 160. The revenue of 160 that is coming in. Higher. The next is variable cost. Variable cost still remains 540. But the purchase now is 70 times 25, which is 1750. So 2,700 plus 160 minus 540 minus 1750 is 570. 570. So we now go to hapa si kuandika 16, 20, 12, 60 and 570. Let us go now to the 200A. 200A. For the 200A, the units are 28. So 28 times 3 is 84. And when we are in A, we are buying whatever we want. So we just buy 84. So no excess. And then the revenue will be 28 times 200. That is 5,600. And there is no material revenue. So the variable cost will be 30 times E. E is 28. That is 840. Then the purchase is 84 times 30. So it is 2520. So we will say 5,600 minus 840 minus 2520 is 2240. So that 2240, we bring it here. 2240, we bring it there. All right, let us come now to 23. 23 multiplied by 3 is 69. So we will still be allowed to buy 69 because we are in A. And therefore, we shall not report any excess. The revenue will be 23 times 200. That is 4,600. For the materials, it is 0. For the variable, it is going to be 69 times 30. That is 20. No. I have done the wrong thing. So it is 23 times 30. That is 690. 690. For the purchase, it is 69 times 30. 2070. So the profit will be 4,600 minus 690 minus 2070 is 1840. Is 1840. Then the other one is 13. Now 13 times 3, that is 39. And when we are in A, we are able to buy anything we want. So we just buy 39. So there is no excess. And then the revenue will be 13 times 200, which is 2600. No revenue from materials. The variable cost is 30 each, so 30 times 13 is 390. The purchase will be 39 times 30. That is 1170. So 2600 minus 390 minus 1170 is 1040. 1040. So we come here, this is 1840, this is 1040. So we proceed now. Okay, so now 200B. 200B, I have 28. So the units required are 84. When I'm in B, I'm supposed to buy a minimum of 50. So I will still buy 84, so no excess. But the revenue will be 28 times 200, that is 5,600. No material here. The variable cost will be 30 times E, that is 28. That is 840. Purchase will be 84 times 27.5 is 2310. So 5600 minus 840 minus 2310, 2450. So nakuja unaandika hapa 2450. Then we go to 23. 23 is 69. Then the purchase is 69. Excess is 0. So we have 69 times, not 69, we have 23. 23 times 200 is 4,600. Materials is 0. Variable is 23 times 30, 690. The purchase is 69 times 27.5, 1597.5. So if that is true, I have 4,600 minus 690 minus my answer there. I get 2012.5. 2012.5, is that so? Okay. Then we come to 18. Or that one I need to record it here. 2012.5. 2012.5. The next thing is 18. 18 times 3 is it 18? No, it is 13, not 18. 13. So I have 39. So at 39, I can only be allowed to buy 50 because I'm in B. So if I buy 50, that means I have an excess of 11. So my revenue will be 13 times 200. That is 2,600. And my revenue of materials is 110. Variable cost is 30 times 13 is 390. 390. The purchase is 50 times 27.5. 1375. 2600 minus 110. No, not minus, plus. Plus 110 minus 390 minus 1375 is 945. 945. So that one we bring it here. 945. Then we go to 200C. 200C. Now 200C, we have 28 here, 84, and because we are required to buy 70, we still buy 84. There is therefore no excess. The revenue is 5,600. No revenue from materials. The variable cost will still be 840. But now the purchase cost will change. It is 84 times 30. No. Times 25. That is 2,100. So 5,600 minus 840 minus that is 5,660. Then we have 23. We have 69 here. So now we buy what? 70. So there is an excess of 1. The revenue is still 4,600. And there is a revenue of 10 shillings. The variable cost is 690. Now 70 times 25 is 1,750. So I will need 4,600. I add 10. I raise 690. I raise the answer, which is 2,170. So I will come here and record 2,170. And finally, at 13, this is 39. I must buy what? 70. So I have an excess of 31. So the revenue is 26. This is 310. This is 390. And this is 1,750. 2,600 plus 310 minus 390 minus 1,750 is 770. 770. That is how they are computed.
So below that now, we need to do some workings, which are called now computation of expected monetary values. Expected monetary value at node expected monetary value at node. Now, node are these numbers. First of all, the nodes are these circles, these squares. So we are going to compute for each. So we start with number 1 here. And this is what you do. When you come to number 1 here, you can see there are 2 types of lines. There are the lines that are going out of that and lines that are coming in. Now, if the lines that are going out are complete, these ones represent the outcomes, as you saw in your notes. And as you can see, they have probabilities. So what you do, you multiply these probabilities with these scales as you add. You multiply as you add if the lines are complete. And before you write the answer, you check whether the line that is coming in has a cost. A cost we cover the 650 and the 1360. So if it has a cost, that cost is subtracted. But if it does not have a cost, then you just write the answer. Like now you can see all these that are coming in, they don't have costs. So we are just going to write answer straight. So we start with the first one. Start with the first one where we shall say 0.3 times 1080 plus 0.5 times 540 plus 0.2, this is 840 times 540. So this is going to be 0.3 times 1080 plus 0.5 times 840 plus 0.2 times 540 is 852. 852. 852. The next one is number 2. You take 0.3 multiplied by 1350 plus 0.5 multiplied by 1050 plus 0.2 multiplied by 675. So 0.3 times 1350 plus 0.5 times 1050 plus 0.2 times 675 is 1065. 1065. We go to number 3. It is 0.3 times 1620 plus 0.5 times 1260 plus 0.2 times 570. So 0.3 times 1620 plus 0.5 times 1260 plus 0.2 times 570 is 1230. Number 4 is 0.3 2240 plus 0.5 times 1840 plus 0.2 times 1040. So we have 0.3 times 2240 plus 0.5 times 1840 plus 0.2 times 1040 is 1800. Number 5, it is 0.3 times 2450 plus 0.5 times 2012.5 plus 0.2 times 945. That is 0.3 times 2450 plus 0.5 times 2012.5 plus 0.2 times 945 is 1930.25. 1930.25. Number 6 is 0.3 times 2660 plus 0.5 times 2170 plus 0.2 times 770. So 0.3 times 2660 plus 0.5 times 2170 plus 0.2 times 770 is 2037. So that is what you do with the rhymes that are complete. Now we go to number 7. When you come to number 7, you can see the lines going out are incomplete. The incomplete lines represent options. So what you do, you don't multiply like we have done here, but you select the highest. So this one will be the highest in the nodes where those lines go. You see these lines are going, the lines coming out from number 7, they are going to 1, 2, 3. In 1, 2, 3, which is equals to, through the parallel, these 3 of them, the highest is 12, 30. So you take 12, 30, and before you settle on it, you can see the line coming in as a cost of 650. So you subtract 650. Subtract 650. What do you get? 580. Then we go to number 8. We go to number 8, and the treatment is the same. It is the highest. It is the highest in 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and 6, the highest is what? 2037. 2037. And it has a cost of what? 1360. 1360. 677. And once you select, now that these ones that we have selected, you need to show us that you have selected them by marking these 2 lines this way. Marking these lines this way. This 1230 imetoka kwa number 3 here. So you mark this way. The twin. And this 2037 imetoka kwa number 6. So you also mark that. Let's go to number 9. Number 9 is a similar case of selection, but there are 2 of them. So it is the higher. It is the higher in 7 and 8. 7 and 8, the higher is 677. And that one, we have gotten it from number 8 here. So we are through. So once you are through with that, the next thing now is to offer the advice. The next thing is to offer the advice. The advice is, as you can see here, we have decided when we are in the prices, we go for the price of 200. And then we take the option C. So the question had asked us to advise them to do what? The question had said, advise on which selling price and purchase option to adopt. So selling price should be shillings 200. And then purchasing option should be option C. Purchasing option should be option C. After you have offered your advice that way, at times they may ask you to get the value of information, or those who had this question and asked. Value of information. Value of information. Now the value of information, it is very, very simple. Oh, they had asked. How you go about it, you simply come back here at the last one. You see the last node here. This last node has been decided on the basis of 2 primes. This one and this one. So you take the higher and you subtract the smaller. So the higher of this is what we got in number 8. So we subtract what we get in number 7. You take the higher or the highest, you subtract the second highest. So the value of information here will be at number 8, we had 677. And at number 7, we had 580. We had 580. That is 97. Now 97 is the maximum amount of money that you should be willing to pay to anyone who is in a position to help you make the right decision. That's what we call value of what? Information. It is like even the school fees that you have paid. That school fees you have paid so that you come to me or to us and we help you make the right decision during the exam day and thereafter in your practice. So the question is, how much are you willing to pay? Now, the how much you're willing to pay is the value of information and is determined by the benefits that you expect to get. If someone was to tell you you will never get a job with management accounting, then you not come to pay for it. But now, as we speak now, we are hopeful that you will get a serious job, a good job with management accounting. That's why you are ready to pay for it. Yeah. So, any question there? Yeah, okay. On your own, you shall have this question of November 2016 as an assignment. November 2016, question number 3. Question number 3. That question is almost identical to this one. The only difference is when they come to the second price, instead of 3 demands, they have 4. So sasa hapa utakuwa na ingine hivi. So that means instead of 18 tails, you will have 21 tails. But the concept is the same. The other thing, is one that I've given you, it has introduced a cost for the materials, the excess materials. So utaongezea column kingine for the cost of selling the materials. Yeah, but kama ushaelewa this one, then it will be very, very much okay. And one of the easiest ways of getting to understand these things, before you do the assignment that I have given you, go close your book, do this question we have done on your own. Ukikwama unafungua kitabu unaangalia. Until when you are able to solve this question on your own from the start to the end. If you are able to do that, then go and do the assignment. But if you just go and attempt the assignment right after this, I'm very sure you will see stars and then you start saying hizi vitu ni ngumu ama huyo mwalimu. But the vitu are not gumu, mwalimu hana shida, it is simply the approach that was wrong. So for the minutes that remain, I want us to look for another question. That we can do it together. Yes, let's go to page 57. Page 57. There is a question of May 2016. Question 3. May 2016, question 3. So the question reads, Sawasawa Limited is a fitness center serving traders within the central business district. Currently, the center has 4,000 members, with each member paying a subscription fee of $35,000 per annum. The center comprises of a gym, a swimming pool, and a small exercise area. A competitor plans to open a new fitness center within the same locality. This is expected to cause a decrease in membership numbers for Sawasawa Limited unless its facilities are upgraded. Consequently, Sawasawa Limited is considering the following options in a bid to improve its membership numbers. Option 1, no upgrade. In this case, membership numbers would be expected to fall to that 250 per annum for the next 4 years. Operational cost would remain unchanged at the current level of 4,500 per member per annum. Option 2, upgrade the exercise areas.
The capital cost of this upgrade would be shillings 18 million. The expected effect on membership numbers for the next 4 years is as follows. So we are given that the effect on operational cost for the next 4 years is expected to be, so we are given that any improvements are expected to last for 4 years. You are required, using the expected monetary value criterion, recommend the decision that Sawasawa Limited should make. So this is the question of May 2016. Question of May 2016, question 3A, and this question is also multiple or multi-stage decision. And I told you the surest or one of the surest ways of checking whether the question is simple or multi is checking how many sets of probabilities. You can see here we have 2 sets of probabilities. We have the 0.3 and 0.7, that is one set, and the 0.4 and 0.6 as the other set. Now, as we have said, you begin by coming up with a sketch. You come up with a sketch. Now, the sketch shows us, or just captures everything that there is. We are debating on 2 things. Do we upgrade or do we not upgrade? That is what we are debating about. Do we upgrade our hotel or do we not upgrade? Now, if you upgrade, the membership numbers will change. There are 2 possibilities. But if you don't upgrade, the numbers will just remain. And the costs, when you upgrade, they will also change to 2. But when you don't upgrade, the cost will remain the same. Cost will remain the same. And that's all. So this tells you that we are going to have a tree that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is going to have 5 tails. The tree will have 5 tails. Now, there are various approaches of handling this kind of questions. One is what we have done. First of all, you draw the fair copy on its own, then you get the workings there under. You get the workings there under. But if the workings are not so involving, unaona kama hiyo ya swali yenye tumemaliza, they were very wrong. So hazingetoshea on the same page with the tree na the workings. But this one they are not involving. So tutaipanga itoshe. Ikianza huku iende mpaka mwisho. So just like we said, you go to the end of your page. Maybe what you can do, you can first of all wait, because you are not very familiar with this one, so that you are able to share your space. Sorry. Look at what I'm doing. At the end of my workings, I will have something called payoff. Then this payoff, we are told there will be members and there will be years. So this will be time or the years. Then there will be
costs, we have the fee, we will have annual members. Annual members. Annual members. We'll have costs per member. And then fee per member. Fee per member. So if this one I call it A, and this one I call it B, this one I call it C, and this one I call it D, then my profit will be A minus B multiplied by C multiplied by D. So that is how I'm going to get my profits. That is how I'm going to get my profits. So now we can draw the tree. Now draw the tree. So we have said we have 5 tails. So if I start here, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the decision tree. So that is how it's drawn. The workings are not very many, but all right. So if we are okay with that, let us record now. The recordings are here. We are talking of upgrade. And when you upgrade, according to option 2, the cost will be 18 million. So we can work with the figures in let's just put, because they are not very many, 18 million. And we put it in brackets that way. Then no upgrade here. No upgrade. No upgrade. So if there is no upgrade, or rather, when you do the upgrade here, you can have 4,000 members. You can have 4,000 members with a probability of 0.3, or you can have 4,800 members with 0.7. And then the cost here will be 6,000. With 0.4, then this one is it can be 8,000 with 0.6, then 6,000 with 0.4, 8,000 with 0.6. The members here are that's 250. That's 250 members. And the cost is 4,500. The probability of year 3 is 1. The probability is 1. So the fee per member is that 5,000. So you can record that 5,000 here. Every member is paying that 5,000. That 5,000. And then the cost per member here it is 6,000. Here it is 8,000. This is 6,000. This is 8,000. This is 4,500. The annual number of members, this is 4,000. This is also 4,000. This is 4,800. 4,800. And this is that 250. And the time in years is 4. The time in years is 4. Time in years is 4. It's 4 years. So we start working. So if you take 35,000, you less 6,000. You multiply by 4,000, you multiply by 4 is 464 million. Is 464 million. 464 million. Then 35,000 minus 8,000 times 4,000 times 4 is 432 million. 432 million. That 5,000 minus 6,000 times 4,800 times 4 is 556,800. 8,000. That 5 million minus 8 times 4,800 times 4 is 580 million 400,000. That 5,000 minus 4,500 times that 250 times 4 is 396,500. 396,500. Okay. Now below that, let's have computation for the expected monetary values. So computation of expected monetary value at node, let's start with the node 1. Node 1. You can see the lines coming out of node 1, they are complete. So if they are complete, we have said you multiply. So the probability here was 0.4 multiplied by the payoff there, which is 464 million. 464 million. Plus, these are the one, 0.6 multiplied by 432 million. So if I take 0.4 times 464 million plus 0.6 times 432 million is 444,800. We go to number 2. Number 2 is 0.4 times 556,800 plus 0.6 times 518,400. So we have 0.4 times 556 plus 0.6 times 518.4 is 5,3,760,000. That's it. Or nimeandika it's okay, yeah? Okay, so we go to number 3. Number 3 is also a case of multiplication. You can see they are complete. So it is 0.3 times what we got in number 1. That is 444,800,000 plus 0.7 times 5, that 3,760. minus, you can see there is a cost. See there is a cost that is coming in of 18 million. Of 18 million. So this will be 0.3. Is 489,072,000. And we go to number 4. Number 4 is just a matter of multiplication. 1 times 396,500, and there is no any other, and there is no cost that is coming in. So the answer is 396,500,000. When we go to number 5, it's a case of selection because you can see these are options. So it is the higher EMV in 3 and 4. Now 3 and 4, the higher is this one. So it is 489,072,000. 489,072. And that one, we have gotten it from number 3 here. So we mark that way. And when we mark it that way, we now come and give the advice. The advice is you upgrade the facility. Upgrade the facility. Upgrade the facility. And if they want value of information is the difference now between the two of them. At number 3, corner 489, 072,000 minus 396,500. $92,000. 92 million, 572,000. 92,572,000. So that is how you go about it. So maybe I can give you a question, you try also. You can try the question of May 2017. May 2017, question 1. May 2017, question 1. Yes. What happens once I leave an assignment? I prefer you do on your own, and then you submit for marking. It is better you buy a book for assignments. It's better you buy a book for assignments. Those who are online, you just send online. You buy a book for assignments. Once I leave them behind, you can be able to submit. I check. That's the first way, which is free. The second way, which is involving a cost, is you can buy my revision kit. The revision kit has some of the solutions, but that now comes at a cost of 1,500. But now that you're in class, you are supposed to buy a book, do the assignments, and bring our mark. So, thank you.